love that not only did she give herself a voice, but she gave a whole culture a voice. I mean, some historians have said that she helped lead to the end of slavery in Britain because of her influence on her great uncle, Lord Mansfield. How do you all feel about that and the power that that statement says?
Well, you know, also the other thing about it is that what at the time, it's the other way around now, but at the time what happened in Britain had a huge impact on America. So now it's the other way around. But so how do, you know, for me, this was one of the reasons when I found this out in my research, this was one of the reasons I had to tell this story because it's profound, it's big, it's deep, but also, you know what, it's a good story in our history. It's a positive story in our history. It's one we can celebrate, and this black female was at the center of it. It's inspiring.
Well, in a letter urging people to see this film, writer Susan Fales Hill says that Belle, quote, represents redemption for all of the indignities black women have suffered on screen from Birth of a Nation onward.
Amen.
I was going to ask you how you feel, but I think amen is the answer.
It's a one-word answer.
How do you feel about that assessment?
I mean, it's wonderful. As I say, for me, it's just incredibly refreshing to have this perspective, you know, and you know, a woman of color at the center of the story, and not being brutalized. She's educated. She's, you know, an articulate Georgian lady of the time. You know, that doesn't mean, you know, that she's not, as we said before, she's privileged. She's not completely equal. But I think it's just wonderful to have this opportunity to show a woman who's articulate and able to kind of get her own independence and the courage to speak her mind. You know, we don't really see that very often.
Now let's shift gears. Is it true that you were actually a child actress before you stepped behind the lens? Miss Amma, is that true?
It's very, very true. And you know what? I think it really helped me a lot. It helped me a lot in what I do today. As a writer, as a director, I was a terrible child actress. And I was a terrible actress. And the good thing was I knew that. But what I did also know, what I also learned was that I knew how to spot a great performance. And I felt that. And I felt like I wasn't doing justice to the people that I was acting alongside by them giving these great performances and me being so completely self-aware and the complete opposite of what Gugu does so wonderfully in front of the camera. And so I began to write instead. You know, writing was very much my bread and butter and is still. And I started to direct my work. And so it came from there. It came from recognizing a good performance, then kind of knowing a good performance because I'd acted for such a long time, you know, knowing how to put one down on paper, what that looked like on paper. And then I guess my own qualities in drawing, helping to facilitate a good performance from an artist. And I felt so at home. I feel so at home. I really do.
Behind the lens.
I do, behind the lens.
And clearly you're doing it well because you've won a BAFTA for your work.
That's very, very true.
Take us back to that night when they call your name.
Can I tell you, well, first of all, the point where I'm nominated, I just want to enjoy the month that you are a nominee for because, you know, I'm not thinking, first of all, when I did win, I was, I believe, the first black female director to win a BAFTA Film Award. Wow. So I'm not thinking I'm going to win because I'm not going to be that first, right? So I'm just trying to enjoy that. So I've got dressed up, I've borrowed the clothes from the designer, I've got the thousands of dollars of jewelry on, and I'm sitting there, and they call my name, and I swear everything goes into slow motion. Wow. And as I got up on stage and I turned around quite slowly, it was really like I saw my parents' journey from West Africa to England, everything that they sacrificed, everything that they did so that we could have opportunities. It was like it kind of flashed in front of me. And then as my eyes landed on the audience, there's Goldie Hawn and Martin Scorsese and
surreal.
You know, it was completely surreal. And but you know what? It's one of those moments that I think is a gift that lives with you for life because you'll always be, I'm always that Academy Award winner now in England and it gives me a confidence. And so as a woman filmmaker, when times get really, really hard, I do sometimes look at that little one-eye mask. That is the BAFTA. I feel like it's winking at me. And I think it's okay, it's possible. You did it before, you can do it again.
Wow.
Well, I have a feeling you will both be doing it again coming up awards season.
Gugu,
I pray.
Gugu, really quickly, tell us what you all are working on next. Gugu, you first, and then Amma.
Well, I just finished a film that's completely different to Belle. It's called Blackbird, with another female writer-director called Gina Prince-Bythewood.
Oh, yes.
And I shot that in LA just towards the end of last year. So it's a very different story, but it actually has some of the similar themes. I'm playing a pop star, and we explore sort of the underbelly of the music industry.
Will you be doing any of your own singing?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, we're working with, well, there's been written music by The Dream, and so he's written all the original music for it, in which I do sing and dance. But, you know, it's much more contemporary, a little edgier, a little sexier. It's not quite the restrained society that we explore in Belle.
You don't have to wear a corset for those movies, huh?
Maybe a different kind.
Yeah, a different kind of corset. Yeah. You should probably only be wearing a corset.
But, you know, equally, the character does go through her own identity crisis.
It's a mother-daughter story,
and
right?
it is a mother-daughter story, you know, about that toxic, you know, mother-manager dynamic.
Momagers.
The momager, exactly, played by Minnie Driver, who is fantastic. So, yeah, something completely different, but again, you know, similar themes running just beneath the surface.
All right.
And Amma, really quickly, what do you got cooking?
I have got a wonderful Warner Brothers studio movie coming up. It's a thriller. It's got a double female lead, so I'm very excited about that. It's 2 women producers, a woman director, a double female lead, and Warner Brothers, you know, have been very kind in letting me direct this film. So that's what I'll be doing next.
I've got to figure out your tactics, because you're pulling off things that women are just not able to do in Hollywood. My
Warner
goodness.
Sisters next,
It's
right?
Warner Sisters, right? Okay, I like that one.
All right, well, let the estrogen army continue to rule, ladies.
Absolutely.
Very proud of you both. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for having
Thank you.
us.
And you're watching Arise Entertainment 360.